Blind to the Beautiful. You don't seem like somebody blind to the beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, this was a weird album to write. I mean, it's taken 6 years. I mean, the last album was 13 Star, which came out in 2007. And then there was a very strange period happened, and I went on the road, and in 2008 I was having problems with my voice, and people thought it was a thyroid problem. Everybody had an opinion, but I mean, it got to the stage where when I went out at night at 9 o'clock, I never knew how my voice was going to be, and it was starting to get me very depressed. And at the end of the tour, I went to see a specialist, and they said, you've got a lump on your throat. And being somebody who's a smoker and a drinker and, you know, and a singer and, you know, not exactly a gym fanatic. It was, when somebody says you've got a lump on your throat, the first thing that comes in your mind is cancer.
Yeah.
And I had a very rough period, which culminated in the operation. They operated, and it was a cyst on my throat, which is like playing football with a stone in your shoe. I mean, and not knowing you had a stone in your shoe. So, and I had it for 2 years. I'd been singing for 2 years with a faulty voice. 2009, I had another problem with the scar tissue that came on the site of the operation. That had to be removed. I got married in 2009 to somebody who you could only describe as being difficult. And the marriage lasted all of 6 months. So in 2010, I was sitting there with a second marriage that had exploded, a voice that was coming back from 2 operations, and I went away on an acoustic tour, and we played underneath the Fishheads Club, which became the name of the website. So it was the Fishheads Club tour, and it was 3-piece, a guitar, a keyboard and a voice. And I needed it. I needed it to refine my voice, to refine my confidence on stage. And by playing a lot of the songs, the old Marillion songs like Incubus and Fugazi, I mean, we brought this show to Copenhagen, it was great. And playing these old songs, big songs, and deconstructing them, it was like having an old car that you kind of take to bits and redo the engine and bring it all back up again, and you fall in love with it. And I suddenly fell in love with songwriting again. And that propelled me into making the album. And I could have made an album in 2011, but I don't think it would have been any good. And I needed to distance myself from the darkness of 2008, because I didn't want to write about that. And I went away, and I went to Cuba for 6 weeks. I was away in Costa Rica. I did a lot of travelling.
That's a dirty job.
And the Fishheads Club tour, because we did 170 shows as acoustic. We did 60 in Germany alone. And I think when we came back in 2012, I felt I was ready to make an album. And Steve Vantsis, who had co-written the 13 Star album in the main with me, he came back. And Foss Patterson, my keyboard player, who'd been with me on the Fishheads Club tour, he got involved, and then Robin Bolt came in, and then suddenly an album started to come. And A Feast of Consequences, the new album, it's got like 70 sensibilities, because it's written, you know, I told everybody, we're writing this album from guitar, keyboard and voice. No computers, no cut, copy, paste, right? We build it from the ground upwards, right? And I think in the end, what we have is 68 minutes of really powerful music that is like old-fashioned songwriting, but it's got a 2013 production. I mean, we had, the producer was the same guy that did 13 Star, Callum Malcolm, who's famous for doing Blue Nile, Prefab Sprout, and he lives 20 minutes away from me, and he comes up to my studio. I'm the same as you. I've got my own studio, which is my house.
Gotta have that.
And we moved the dining room table, we moved the couch, and we put the drum kit in and the guitars, and we spent 6 weeks this summer putting the Feast of Consequences together. And it's fun, you know. And the thing is that, you know, it's not done for the money. It's because I wanted to make a great album. You know, I didn't just want to make something to sell. I wanted to make a great album that I was going to be proud of. And the reviews on this album, right across the board, of, you know, people are saying this is the best solo work ever. And to have that at 55 years old, after being away for 6 years.
Yeah, you know, and after thinking it was all
good.
over. Yeah.
It feels good. Yeah.
I can imagine that feeling. I just translate a bit. Fish havde problem på et tidspunkt med stemmen, noget som han troede var cancer, og fik problemer efter et par operationer. Så det her album er lavet i sådan en stemning af begejstring over, at man får livet tilbage. I just thought about when you're telling me this is Danish songwriter who he normally says, he has this saying, he says, I don't have a career, I have a life. And I mean that must have been what it felt like when you thought it was all over. I mean, even your life was over.
Oh, I mean, I think that period when it came into 2010, you know, as I said, I was dealing with somebody who was a very complicated person, and it was like for the I came out of the hospital on December, I think it was the 22nd, I think it was, for my second operation. And she left me on December the 27th, and I saw her once after that. But for 5 months in 2010, it was like every morning you got a phone call going, "I love you," and every night it was like a Viet Cong mortar attack, right? And I had no voice, I had no marriage, and I was looking at this is it, it's over. And it was I think the darkest period of my life. And at one point, when I saw the specialist, she said the growth had come back. And she said, and I thought that was it. And then I thought it was over. But in that period, everything kind of sorted out, and I came through it, and I crawled out the wreckage and went on the road. I mean, that was it. I escaped on the road. It was the best place to go. Out on the road, play songs.
From the towns and the cities we came, from the fields and the countryside, the mines and the factories, volunteers on the square, labourers and unemployed, clerks and delivery boys, skirling pipes charge the air, raising the cheering crowd, casting out any doubts, victory will soon be assured. We know God's on our side at the heart of the gathering. Farewell to our homes and our families. Farewell to the lives we once knew. Farewell to our youth and our innocence. We marched off with the band to the promise of a brave new world. The children that I shall return, laden with medals and dripping with garlands. We'll sit by the banks of the Tyne, and I'll regale you with stories of honor and glory. We'll make up for all the lost time, jig to the fiddles and weave the white willow. In the evening like thorns will entwine, our bodies surrender, we give to the gathering. I long for my home and my family. I will long for the life I once knew. I long for my youth and my innocence. I long for a brave new world. Ships out of training camps, from the railheads to trudge open roads, shouldered rifles on heavy souls, our fears will add to our load. Farewell to our homes and our families, farewell to the lives
Gathering var det altså her fra det nye album fra Fish, Feast of Consequences. Fish, it's been such a pleasure having you here, and we could be talking for quite a while.
It's been brilliant.
Yeah. I'm really had a hard time pressing the music on because it's been such a great talk. You're in Denmark tonight. You're playing in Viften i Rødovre tonight, and we had a lot of people commenting. Where are you going from here?
We go from here to Gothenburg, then up to Bergen, Oslo, and then we drift back into Stockholm and then into Estonia, Lithuania, Poland. We're on the road for 7 weeks.
Oh yeah.
But it's good. I mean, it makes it so much easier when you're dealing with an album that's when you've got an album that's getting a lot of positive responses. Yeah. It's so much easier to go out and do interviews and go on stages, and we're getting great results on stages. You know. So.
And I'm pretty sure that maybe a few of the listeners today maybe will be keeping in touch. I guess. I hope.
Well, hopefully, I mean, if this works, I mean, this is really the album's only been out for 2 weeks, and as I said, it's only available on the fishheadsclub.com website. That's it. Maybe at the end of next year, we were looking at doing festivals. Maybe I can get back to Roskilde and do the jump again.
Well, you might.
But maybe my knees might not be up to the big jump.
We can do like a double jump. I'll join you. The ultimate.
But Viften will be good tonight. I'm looking forward. We always get a good result in Copenhagen, so I'm looking forward to it tonight.
All the best, Fish. It's been a pleasure. And
lovely to meet you.
I hope to see you again.
Cool. Thank you.